Bonjour. Alors aujourd'hui, nous parlons du subjonctif. OK? Alors, let's play that. OK. Alors, la dernière fois, j'ai posté une autre vidéo avec le subjonctif. Nous avons vu la formation des verbes en ER. Nous avons vu qu'il fallait utiliser la forme nous du verbe au présent, d'éliminer la terminaison ONS et d'ajouter les terminaisons E, ES, E, IONS, IEZ, ENT. OK, donc ça, c'est une petite révision. Alors, nous avons quelques verbes réguliers, comme les verbes chanter, finir et vendre. Je vous ai signalé aussi qu'au subjonctif, on a toujours une proposition relative qui est introduite par que. Il y a toujours que qui est suivi du verbe au subjonctif. Donc, pour le verbe chanter, on dirait que je chante. Le verbe finir, que tu finisses. Le verbe vendre, qu'ils vendent, qu'elles vendent, que vous chantiez, que vous finissiez, que vous vendiez, etc. etc. OK? Donc, ça ne veut pas dire que dès que vous avez que, c'est le subjonctif. Non, c'est pas ça. Mais c'est la structure de la phrase. Donc, familiarisez-vous avec vos verbes réguliers. Bien. Alors, quelques verbes irréguliers, il y en a beaucoup, OK? Et il faut les mémoriser, OK? C'est très important. La plupart des irrégularités se forment à la forme nous et à la forme vous. So that's why we say go to the new form present of the verb because it's usually going to be constant there. The stem is most of the time going to be constant, OK? Alors, quelquefois, nous et vous sont réguliers, donc ils ont la même racine à l'infinitif. Okay? They have the same stem as the infinitive. So just watch for that. Okay? On continue. Alors, quelques verbes irréguliers, quelques exemples. Quelquefois, ils ont deux racines différentes. Quelquefois, la racine, when I say racine, I mean the root. La racine pour je, tu, il singulier et il pluriel est identique. OK? Donc, they all have the same root. OK? Et il y a une autre racine pour nous et vous. Donc, you'll see the difference in root, for irregular verbs for the same verb. OK? Par exemple, le verbe boire. Les formes je, tu, il, on, OK, se termine avec la forme, c'est boivent. Donc, que je boive, que tu boives, qu'ils boivent, OK? Et au pluriel, c'est la même racine. Il pluriel ou elle pluriel boivent la même racine, alors que la forme nous et la forme vous auront la racine B-U-V. So that's why we say memorize your irregulars. So they're not always the same. OK? On continue. Alors, il y a des verbes que vous avez appris qui ont des changements d'orthographe. They usually have the accent going different ways. Different way. Le verbe acheter, par exemple. Okay? Les formes je, tu, il et elle, alors, auront l'accent sur l'accent grave, j'achète, sur le E, tandis que pour les formes nous et vous, il n'y aura pas d'accent. Donc, on n'aura que nous achetions. Donc, mémorisez ces verbes. Appeler, il y a un seul L à l'infinitif, mais deux L aux formes je, tu, il et elle. OK? Nous appelions looks exactly like the infinitive. OK? Croire, c'est la même chose. Devoir, jeter, mourir, payer. I think I have two more. Préférer, but the same verb that you've learned that had, a difference in the stem, they call stem changing verbs. They're the same that are stem changing in the subjunctive. Okay? Le verbe prendre, c'est la même chose. Le verbe recevoir, and I think for this screen it's about the venir. Wow, ça continue. Voilà. Okay. So you can always go back, or they are all in your books. Okay? Il y a des verbes qu'on appelle des verbes impersonnels. So they're only conjugated with il. Okay, so you're going to have to use subjunctive with this verb. Par exemple, falloir, pleuvoir. impersonal verbs, because you don't say I rain, you rain. You always say it rains. So it's only used at the il form. Falloir is one of them. Falloir means must, okay? Donc, au subjonctif, qu'il faille, pleuvoir, to rain, qu'il pleuve, ok? Donc, regardez dans votre livre pour trouver d'autres verbes qui sont irréguliers que vous devez mémoriser. Bien sûr, your favorite, être, avoir, and aller, they're everywhere in your life from French 1 to now. So you need to know that they're always irregular. Donc, il faut mémoriser les formes irrégulières. Alors, pour le verbe être, que je sois, que tu sois, qu'il soit, que nous soyons, que vous soyez, qu'elle soit. Le verbe avoir, que j'ai, que tu aies, qu'il ait, que nous ayons, que vous ayez, qu'elles aient. Alors, pronunciation here, it's the same pronunciation, like if you were saying, for example, eh, or eh, or eh. It's the same pronunciation, okay? Que j'ai, que tu aies, qu'il ait, okay? And you see that these, they look like what you learned for the command form of être and avoir. They're exactly the same, okay? Without, in command form, you don't have a subject, just remember that, okay? Le verbe aller, que j'aille, que tu ailles, qu'il aille, que nous allions, que vous alliez, qu'elles aillent. So these are like the three musketeers of verbs that they always have their own thing. They do their own thing. Vive la différence, n'est-ce pas? Alors je vais effacer ça. Et on continue. Alors, comment utiliser le subjonctif? Comment est-ce qu'on utilise le subjonctif? Ce n'est pas un temps. I told you, it's not a tense. It's a mood. Hein, c'est un mode. Comme l'indicatif, c'est un mode. L'impératif, c'est un mode. Le conditionnel, c'est un mode. Okay? It's a mode that you use to give, some information. Donc, le subjonctif aussi, c'est un mode. Il y a deux temps au subjonctif, le subjonctif présent et le subjonctif passé. Mais dans cette classe, je crois que nous étudions seulement le subjonctif présent. OK? Pourquoi et comment est-ce qu'on utilise le subjonctif? On utilise le subjonctif pour exprimer une réaction vis-à-vis d'un fait. Okay? So you're always going to have two subjects. One subject is going to be reacting to what the other subject may or may not do. And that's why it's subjective, because I can't make them do it. Okay, like when your parents say, I want you to study, they're doing the feeling, the wanting, okay? But you have to do the doing of the homework. They can't always make you. You know you didn't always do your homework. Okay, so that's why it's subjective. Okay? So, on utilise aussi le subjonctif pour donner nos impressions, nos sentiments, our feelings, par exemple les émotions, la volonté, le désir. Okay, so that one subject that is going to do all of these, and these emotions are going to be expressed in the present tense. Okay? And in the other clause, when you have this in the first one, it's going to be followed by a subjunctive. So emotion, will, volition, desire, plus subjunctive. The verb followed by que is going to be in the subjunctive. Okay? So, je vais effacer ça, meaning I'm erasing this, et je continue. Okay? So I always tell my students that doing the subjunctive, it's like, putting a recipe together, right? And what are the ingredients? Alors, pour utiliser le subjonctif, il vous faut avoir les ingrédients suivants. Deux clauses, two separate clauses, a main clause and a subordinate clause. Each one of these clauses will have their own separate subject and separate verbs. So que is just the linking word in the middle. You can translate it by that, okay? You can use that to, as a definition for que, but que is the middleman, okay, that links those two clauses together. Très bien. Il faut donc une clause subordonnée. So it's subordinate because it cannot stand alone. It needs the main clause, to give it value, okay? And that subordinate clause is introduced by que. The main clause has to have a verb or an expression, you know, that gives the subjectivity. I would want, I feel, you know, I desire, you know, all of these. Whatever you're expressing an emotion, a will, a desire, volition, will, etc., that somebody else does whatever. Okay? So that, you know, second clause is the one that may or may not happen. That's why it's subjunctive. Donc, voilà des expressions qui seront toujours suivies du subjonctif. Les expressions impersonnelles comme il faut que, il est nécessaire que, il vaut mieux que, il est indispensable que, il est important que, il est incroyable que, il semble que. Toutes ces expressions impersonnelles, I call them impersonal because they all use only with il. Okay? Ces expressions seront suivies du subjonctif. So please memorize these expressions. Familiarize yourself with these expressions. That's going to be very helpful. Okay? On continue. Alors, après ces expressions, comme j'ai expliqué tout à l'heure, les expressions comme désirer, souhaiter, vouloir, aimer mieux, préférer, exiger, it's usually giving, you know, your feeling about something. Okay? I wish that you'd pick up after yourself. Okay? I want, I would prefer, or I demand that you pay your part of the rent. All of this. Yeah, you have a roommate that is kind of sloppy and always, you know, kind of forget, oh, the rent is due. So you have to make some demands sometimes. Donc ces expressions seront suivies du subjonctif automatiquement. So memorize this expression, or just remember expressions of will. You know, desire, wishes, wanting, likes, dislikes, you know, followed by the subjunctive. Okay? Alors, voilà encore une liste d'expressions qui donnent votre émotion, vos émotions. How you feeling about something. I am happy. Okay? I am delighted. I'm unhappy. I'm sad. I'm surprised. You know, I rejoice to the idea, blah, blah, blah. I regret. I am afraid. Your emotions. We're very, you know, emotional in this chapter. All of this followed by the subjunctive. Un exemple, rapidement, with content. Je suis contente que vous étudiez le français. I hope you can see this because my marker is leaving me. That's all I can use. That's what I'm given here. So I apologize if you can't see. Alors, regardez cette phrase. J'ai un verbe, OK, et une expression d'émotion, OK. J'ai que, j'ai un, actually I forgot to say subject here, j'ai un sujet numéro 2, verbe numéro 2, OK, et parce que j'ai l'expression être content, to be happy, the verb after que has to be in the subjunctive. And yes, this verb has two I's because that's the rule. Go from the new present stem and add IEZ. So some verb like rire and étudier are always going to have two I's. Okay, so watch for this. Is that helpful? I hope so. Okay, so je vais effacer. Just take the time to familiarize yourself with the subjunctive. C'est pas difficile, hein? C'est pour exprimer vos émotions. The main subject, the first part of the sentence expresses something, okay? Followed by que, and depending on what you're using in the main clause, the other clause is going to have to be in a subjunctive form. Expressions of doubt. So expressions of emotion, expressions of doubt. Please note that here I have negative expressions, okay? And croire, these, make sure that you put them in a question form, okay? Because when they're in the question form, they're opening, themselves for, doubt. So that's why they're going to be followed by subjunctive. Donc, to doubt, not to believe, not to think, not to be sure, and croire and penser and être sûr in a question form. Because if I use these same verbs in a regular sentence, a statement, it's not going to carry uncertainty, subjectivity. If I say, je crois, let's use a different, okay? Je crois, that's much better, que Paul aime Karine. Okay, so this, I still have this, all the necessary ingredients to have the subjunctive. I have a subject, a first subject, a first verb, a second subject, a second verb, but this verb is not in the subjunctive. You can't really see that here because it looks exactly like the infinitive, the present tense indicative, but this verb, the verb aimer looks like the subjunctive. When you're using it, it's subjunctive or present tense, they look alike, okay? But in this case, this is indicative. Why? Because I believe for a fact. So when croire, penser, and être sûr are in the present tense in a regular statement, okay, they do not call for subjunctive. So this is in the present tense. Does that make sense? Let me give you a different form. Je suis, let me get out of the je. Elle est sûre que ses amis sont à Paris. Let's send them to Paris. Okay? So if I had a verb like that calls for a subjunctive here, this verb would not be in the present tense. It would be in the subjunctive. Okay? If I say, like in the negative, elle n'est pas sûre que ses amis, that would be soit à Paris. So again, these expressions, when they're used in a statement, a regular statement, they're followed by the present tense or the indicative. That could be present tense, future tense, passé composé, or imparfait. Okay? But if they're used in a negative statement or in an interrogative statement, they're going to be used, followed by the subjunctive, which is the case here when I said, elle n'est pas, negative, elle n'est pas sûre que ses amis soient à Paris. Okay? Same thing. If I'm using this in a simple statement, okay? If I say, elle est sûre, okay? Elle est sûre is going to be followed by the indicative because she's sure. Elle n'est pas sûre. Can you see that? Yeah. Elle n'est pas sûre. Whoops. Is plus subjunctive. Same thing. If I have it in a question form, it's going to be subjunctive. So I think I have some space here. If I say, est-elle sûre que plus subjunctive. Does that make sense? Message me if you have questions. with this. But this is very important because these are the ones that we're going to use to kind of trick you. Not really, but you need to be aware of these. C'est très important. OK? Voilà. Je trouve que le subjonctif, c'est très intéressant. It's like, you are expressing yourself. You are saying something that, some people may or may not do. OK? Attention, attention. On ne peut pas utiliser le subjonctif après il est clair, il est vrai, il est évident, les verbes penser et croire quand ils sont à la forme positive. Same thing. So these cannot be followed by the subjunctive because it is clear, it is evident, it is true for a fact. So subjunctive you use when it's contrary to fact, something you cannot verify or something that you are just suggesting that somebody does. Okay, so that somebody may or may not do that. You're not in control of what they're going to do. Okay, so that verb that you're using, depending on what verb you're using, you're going to use the subjunctive or not in the other clause. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, I think we have reached the end of our presentation on the subjunctive, and I'm really hoping that it was helpful. Your book goes into a whole bunch of different explanations that can be helpful, but I just thought simplify it this way, okay? You will know when and when not to use the subjunctive. It's very simple. You have to have all the necessary ingredients. You have to have two different subjects, one for each clause, two different verbs, one for each clause. You have to have a que in the middle. And then you have to ask yourself, this verb or expression that I'm using in that first clause, does it express suggestion? Does it open to doubt or etc.? Then you're going to decide to put the verb in the second clause, the one after que, in the subjunctive or not. Okay? And be aware of croire and penser and il est évident, il est certain, il est sûr. These expressions are telling you this is for a fact. I am sure. D'accord? Bonne chance avec le subjonctif. À bientôt!